Hello, everybody. It's Kim O'Hara. And if you were not on my last Facebook Live 6 minutes ago, then welcome. We are trying this again. I love the technical difficulties of Facebook Live because I'm working with my authors and clients who we've already been through so much writing their book that doing a Facebook Live and whatever we go through is so minimal compared to trying to get on camera. We've already been through the fire. And today I get to write with somebody who I'm so excited about. Her name is Rachel Coyle Brooks. She's a former Ohio bodybuilding bikini division competitor in 2012 and in 2015. And she's written a book about that, but she's also written a book about her amazing journey and lifelong struggle with acceptance of her body and acceptance of herself. And what I'm really excited about with her as a client, first of all, she's an amazing client. She writes always on time, every week. She's always editing. She's very passionate about what she's writing about. But she's in the second draft. And I thought it would be really interesting today to talk with her about what the writing process has been like. And so I'm going to add her to the broadcast now and bring her on camera. And we are going to have a wonderful conversation with her about writing. And here she comes. I can hear her coming.
Hi there. Yes. Sorry for the difficulties. I'm completely new to all this Facebook Live, so welcome. So I'm sorry.
And you are new to writing a book, and you're doing that fabulously. So
yes.
This is like the first chapter, right?
Well, we pretty much, yes. So this is the first chapter of everything that I've been working through, and the writing process has just brought some clarity and just basically putting myself in alignment with where I'm going with my dreams and everything. So this is, yes, the very first step, and the first chapter, the first everything, first live, yes, I'm completely new.
It's amazing. I'm so happy. You look fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Tell us what it was like to watch. I'm just going to hit an ad again, just in case. You're already on camera, but it keeps saying to add you, but you're already here, so I'm just going to ignore it.
Okay.
What was it like to write that first chapter when we started working together?
Well, honestly, it was tough. I think I sat on it for quite some time, and I knew that there was a deadline, so of course I waited to the last minute because I was resisting. Anything that was difficult for me, I would resist it because I would find any way not to, because it was hard. It was challenging. Right. So when I was forced to sit down and write, it was just, I didn't even know how to put what was all inside of me into words, and then my wanting to be striving for like this perfectionism that I talk about in the book. I immediately started editing it, wording it, worrying about the punctuation, and I was just getting hung up on everything except telling my story. And so it took some time to really process, and I was just telling a couple friends, and they said, you know what, just get the story out. Just worry about writing out there all the errors that can always be edited later. So having to sit down for the first time and actually write this, it was challenging. It was scary because not only were they thoughts in my head, but to put them on paper and visually see them, that was like, it was just like an oh my God moment. Like, wow, this is real. This is really happening.
Right,
so,
right. And you pushed through that really, really well. And you did stream of conscious write, and that was really appreciated by me because I was able to see your voice and hear where you were able to go off and sometimes, say to you, hey, that sounds like that's a good story to tell, or that sounds like that's really good dialogue to write out. Maybe you could expand that, and you were willing every time to go there. What was it like for you when you got into the middle of the first draft? Did you feel like you kind of had some legs by then as a writer?
I did, and it was sharing my story itself, just the everything that going back to just some upbringing and thoughts and beliefs and stuff, like were they really mine? Where was this going? And then as we pretty much hit our stride in the middle of the book, I basically fell into my groove, and I was like, okay, I got this. And I like the bringing everything all together, bringing it as a story, and then coming as to the end of in our last chapter. I felt really confident in what I wanted to put out there was in there.
Yes. And you started to see the outline come together and some of the stories come together. So now you're in the second draft, and
Yes.
I said this before you came on, you're the first person I'm doing this interview with that's in the second draft. So people get to have that experience of what it's like for you. And I like to say the second draft is like where the rubber hits the road. It's where we start to get like really serious, that this is the book people are going to read. And what's that like for you going through the second draft?
Um, well, we had a lot of revisions, which was fine because going back to when I sat down to write page one, I was so hung up on, okay, I need to make this perfect. And when we're in the second draft, it's like, we're gutting it. We're just taking chapter 8's now like chapter 2, and paragraph from chapter 1 is in 11, and it's all over the place. And I'm totally cool with it because everything I put out there, I'm so, like I said, confident that there's not really much more that I wanted to add. It's about putting these pieces together, and that's where we're at right now, making this puzzle, look like how it should.
Right, right. And I've noticed with you as a writer, which I love, it's so amazing to witness. When you did start, you were like, I just want to get the chapter done. I just want to know I can hit 10 pages. Like, I just want to know that I'm going to actually type something. And now I'm getting emails from you that are like, well, I've noticed that this has happened, and I've highlighted this. You're like, I feel you like you're like in charge of your book.
Yes.
In a different way. Like, you've gotten through, you wrote about some painful things. Like, what was that like to write about some of those painful experiences you had in your life?
Well, painful.
Right.
Well, because when I think just to take it back a bit, I never really understood how to process emotions and feelings. It was just something we didn't talk about. It was just, put on this mask, everything's fine. How are you? Everything's great, but it's not. And inside, there was just so much pain and just feelings and emotions and everything. So putting that down into paper and not even necessarily the words, but reliving that in the memory and then typing it out it was just, wow, I can't believe. And there were moments that I broke down. I was like, I can't believe I lived there. I can't believe that I just put that mask on like a big Band-Aid and pretended everything was okay. And I never processed from certain things.
Right. And you were able to push through that and then see how you can help other people that might be going through that. So,
Yeah.
For people that are going to watch this later, tell us what the bikini division was. Like, what I put some pictures on Facebook of you, and here you are in all your, grace and beauty and natural amazingness. What would you like people to know about the competitions? If anyone's interested in getting involved in one, what would you suggest?
Well, my first number one advice that I always say going forward, which is always, from the past experiences I have had, these are my lessons learned. Do it for you and only for you. I think that my biggest mistake could be words of wisdom for anyone going forward is that you have to have the right mindset. You have to be 100% confident in who and what you are. Being on stage, being in a bodybuilding competition isn't just like a weight loss competition. It's not about that. It's really, I think, to sum it up, a mindset competition, because you have to be sound in who you are, what you present on stage, the hard work, the discipline, the dedication that goes into just the bodybuilding, but the fitness industry, because this is something, it's your body, it's your physical being. You need to be in the best shape, and that starts literally with your mind.
Right. And that was what was the issue for you, is that you went into it with a mindset that had not been, you hadn't come to peace with yourself. So
Correct.
You were using the competition as a way to say, look at me, look how amazing I am, when inside you weren't so sure you felt like that about yourself.
Yes, and much more, but yes.
And much more.
Yes.
So it was really vital for you to write this book. When you came to me, you were on fire. You were ready. You've been to some Tony Robbins events, and you've done personal development, and you know how important it is to tell your story. But what is the most vital message for you that's come out for other people? Why should they read this book?
Well, I think ultimately and that's one of the questions I'd asked you. I was like, well, I got so much to say. And like, what if, all these questions, but I think what ultimately, what I hope that a reader can get out of my book is to take lessons that I've done and for many years and maybe find a shortcut in there. Maybe it's something that you can relate to and say, well, okay, I'm struggling in the same area. Oh, that resonates with me. Or, oh, this is me right now. How did she overcome this? And that's really what I'm looking for to connect to my readers, is that just really build some sort of a lesson, a blueprint or a plan based, take my lessons and what can you take from that? So yeah, just kind of a crux as to hopefully you learn from my mistakes. And I honestly don't even count them as mistakes now when I look back. Everything I've gone through has been for a purpose and a reason. And those are not just lessons, but blessings. And so I'm thankful for that. And that's, I say, my message is in my mess, and it is. So if there's something that can be obtained from anything that I've gone through, please have at it. So yes,
absolutely. And you're in the gym bench pressing. Like when you started your book, you talked about that. What was it? Gym intimidation?
Yes, so many women have it, and not even just women, but just newbies in general. They're not sure. Everyone wants this change, right? And they go to the gym. They think, okay, I got a membership. I'm going to the gym, and you walk in, and you're like, so overwhelmed. You're like, I don't even know where to begin. What do I do? So you just go to what you normally know how to do. Everyone knows how to walk and run, right? So you just bypass all the weights. You go to your cardio equipment and you run your ass off, like I put in the book, and you get nowhere, and you hate yourself because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even run right. And it's just, you have to find your groove and what works for you. If you're a runner, you're a runner. If you're a weightlifter, you're a weightlifter. And everybody has a different idea of what fitness is, and it's not just about how much strength you can build at a gym, but is this something that you're going to do for you, for your life? This is a life change. Is something you're going to stick with for the rest of your life? Or is this just a fad? Are you just going to do it for a week and get bored with that, maybe try another class, get bored with that, and then, what's next? What is your long-term goals if you're going into a gym? Is it just to lose weight? Okay, anyone can lose weight. But then what happens after that, 12-week goal or 16-week or whatever it may be? This creating a lifestyle change. And that's the message I want to set out there, is if somebody's going to go to a gym, have a plan, have a reason, have commitments to something, not short-term goals, because you're going to go back to the way you were, and it always starts again back to the mind. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. So you have to start with what are in your mind, where you want to go with it, what you're going to do, have a plan, and have some structure, and know you're going to get something out of it.
Absolutely. And you address the millennials,
yes,
so that they can take charge of this. You address people in their 30s, you address people older in their 40s whose bodies are changing, and it's never too late to lift weights and stop this whole like calorie burn, eat mentality that many of us in my generation grew up with, and we're just tired of the treadmill. We're just tired of literally the treadmill. Let me just ask you, what do you love about writing? Would you do it again? And what was it about it that you loved?
Well, I know that one of my skill sets, or like a value to me, is being creative. Writing has allowed me so much, like, just to come through creatively in my words. And are they perfect? No, not at all. And it's okay. It's okay, because as long as what's in there, it's almost like taking weight off of you, expressing yourself. Yes, I would definitely write another book. Writing, again, has been therapeutic. It's helped me formulate and put words down for things, experiences that I've never even knew how to actually take this jumbled ball of mess in my mind and put it out there, and then going through that process. So yes, I actually love to write. I've always liked to tap into my creative side, whether it's writing or painting or just something that I can make, and it makes me feel alive. It fulfills me completely. So yes.
Yes, and you do seem to like it. You do seem to
I do.
enjoy it. Yeah, the grumbling stopped after a while.
Yes, it is. Because I got into a groove and I just said, you know what? This is just, I'm putting out a story. We can worry about all the edits and revisions later. Let's just get out. And I feel literally like weight has lifted off of me. So that's been freeing. Going through this process has been freeing.
So that's been one of the benefits too. And but forget that, you're gonna have the finished book. You can share your business, which will finish, where you can tell people where to go to your website and get you a couple products that you can sell, I think. But so feeling the weight lift from you, what else opened for you? What else did you realize about your career moving forward in writing this book?
It just helped narrow down exactly where I would like to go. For me personally, now I do have obviously my business and my brand, but it's something about where I want to go with my own personal direction, and that's ultimately my purpose and my mission is to help others, to just give back, and like touching base into the book about sharing my experiences. I want to give back. I want to let you know that you're not alone. This is how, sharing a story of how I've overcome something. So any way that I can help people. And so it's going into where I'd like to brand myself aside from just the business, and help people into coaching and creating a positive lifestyle through fitness and nutrition as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's been amazing to work with you. We're on our way to an amazing finished book. And where can they find you? What's your website?
Well, right now I have my website for my brand, my athletic line. So it's iam-athletics.com. And you can follow me on social media through that brand as I Am Athletics. Also for myself, I am Rachel Brooks, and that's across the other social medias as well. So
you definitely want to go. You want to go on her Instagram and see this girl lift weights.
That would be the I Am Rachel Brooks.
She's like this big. She's like this big.
Thank you.
It's been amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And
thank you.
And I look forward to talking tomorrow when we coach. And if anybody's interested in knowing more about writing, they can go to my website at astoryinside.com. And that's where we have workshops every month. And you can talk to me about doing what Rachel's doing, which is writing a book. So have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.